listening to the Ropes N Riffs podcast with your host, John Kiernan.
You guys are probably tired of hearing my voice. I know who you're not tired of hearing. These two gentlemen right here. David and Will, have been hearing them do some awesome covers over on Instagram and over on TikTok and everywhere you can catch them. We were talking off the air and I'm just like, there's stuff that we should be talking on air. So let's just hit record and let's just start talking. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here.
Totally, yeah. And I think the first song I had heard from you guys actually was the song you had put together for like your Money in the Bank rendition, right? And for me, I heard that song and I saw the images and I'm like, okay, cool. WWE's promoting Money in the Bank. And then I saw it wasn't on WWE's account and I'm like, it goddamn better well be, because this is such a dope song. So already, first off, kudos on putting together a banger track like that.
But the crazy thing about that is that's how my brother heard our song as well. Because he was like, oh, I heard this really good song. And then I realized it was you two. And it's Glitch who did the artwork for it. And I think he is phenomenal. He's one of the nicest guys ever.
He is. He's been so supportive, hasn't he? From the very get-go, he's sort of been straight there. Anything we want, anything we need, he's just more than happy to work with it. So it's been a real nice.
And he's actually going to do all our artworks from now on as well. He's super talented. But yeah, so many people said, oh, I saw this really professional looking poster, thought it was just WWE's thing, and it turned out it was you two. We're like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
And they mean that all positively. It's not like, oh, I thought it was WWE. It just happened to be you two guys. You're like, no. Like, that's us.
Yeah, no, it was positive, thank God. Because when Paul said that, my brother, I was like, oh, did you like it? He's like, I loved it. It was great. So yeah, it's cool. It was very cool.
It's been catching a lot of wind too, like not just from fans, but all the work that you guys have been doing have been catching the eye of wrestlers all across the industry too. And it's so cool to see that, you know, you have people like yourselves that put together really awesome renditions of these songs that we've loved for years and really resonate with just an audience, but also resonate with the talent too. How's the reception been to what you've been putting out with the wrestlers across the ecosystem?
Yeah, the reception's been amazing, to be honest. As we say, like, we've been doing music for a number of years now, different things, different people, but there's not really been a community like this that are just so supportive, and it doesn't matter if they're big, small, 10 million followers sort of thing, everyone sort of helps everyone. So it's such a nice thing to see those sort of reactions, whether they're big or small. It's awesome, to be honest.
It's so cool. And like, before Will started doing it with me, because at first I started on my own, and then it was like the workload is intense. I was like, I'd love to do this with someone else to share the experiences. And just before I started with Will, I did Selena Vega's theme, and then she commented on it, liked it, followed me on Instagram, and I was like, this is crazy. Then we did one for Naomi. Yeah. She liked it, followed, commented, said about meeting up and stuff.
Surreal.
Who else was it? The Rascals.
Yeah, we did the Rascals theme.
They both shared it. Trey actually tagged TNA and said, can we get this live? And stuff. So yeah, it's, you know, it's very cool to see that. And as fans from like a young age, to see people you've watched saying nice things and following you and sharing it, it's absolutely unreal.
Even like now, we have our truth. Like every time we'll post a video, he likes our videos, and it's like, it's trying to get used to that every single time. Oh my God, that's our truth, liking our videos.
It's now kind of like a thing. We'll be watching Raw or SmackDown, and we're like, they follow us, they've liked it, they've seen it, and it's mental. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's really, really cool. Really cool.
I love the fact that with wrestlers in WWE and AEW and all these different companies in TNA, it's become this thing where you have not just the community of fans being like, oh, this is great, but I think a lot of the wrestlers get it too, because now you're having this younger crop of wrestlers come up who I think they see how cool social media can be. Like, social media can be crazy, guys, obviously. Welcome to the show. But, you know, we see so many people nowadays who are doing lots of collaborations, lots of tagging. People are searching up what other people are doing and being like, okay, cool, what else is out there? And I think that this crop of wrestlers across the wrestling landscape are a little bit more like, hey, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. There's a lot of really cool stuff for even just like my brand. And then they see the work that you guys do and they're just like, dude, this is it. And I will say too, like you guys said, you've been doing music for a while, same here. And, you know, I love the music community. Obviously, we wouldn't be here if there's not a music community, but I've said this on different podcasts before. I've talked to It Lives, It Breathes and talked to all these different people about it. I think that the wrestling community, both inside of the industry and out, is just incredibly supportive when it comes to that. Anytime I work on a theme with somebody, they're always just like, oh, this is great. Like, it's, if there's any sort of criticism towards something that you're working on, it's usually, I'm looking for it to be like, like this, or something like that. But there's less of like, okay, you didn't play this minor chord here, here, and here. It's a little bit more like, okay, cool. Like, did it make me feel something? Am I resonating with it? Is it bringing me back to Shawn Michaels kicking Bret Hart in the face in that Iron Man match kind of thing? It's a different dynamic altogether.
I will say we've done a few themes for independent wrestlers, and we'll send like a rough version and we're like, what do you want changed? And so far it's always been, this is perfect, cool, I'll take it. And we're like, no, we haven't mixed it, we haven't mastered it. And we're like, no, it's good. We're like, no, let us please mix and master it first. So we've actually had really cool reception for the stuff we've sent these people.
It's nice to see, like, when we put a certain theme up, all the different comments where people are reminded of, oh, I remember when this happened on this Raw, or I remember this from years and years ago. So it's cool to see how people can sort of connect with each other over something we've put up. It's quite amazing to see, to be honest.
Yeah. And like the video we did, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yes, at Paul's.
Yeah. So we went to my brother's studio and just did the video for an original we wrote. Which wrestler with this suit, and the amount of people like putting all these people and some tagging the actual wrestlers and stuff. And it's an original, and it got I think 30,000 views on TikTok so far. Which for an original, we're like, this is crazy.
We're like, whoa!
Like this is really cool for us because
the covers were sort of going well, weren't they? But now the originals seem to be like matching the covers. So it's quite surreal.
Yeah, it really is.
And for especially people that are writing original music too, you're just like, I want those things to do just as well as the covers. And the fact that you're having everybody go, oh my God, this would match here and here. Dude, oh man, I'm so happy for you guys.
Thanks.
Now, we got to talk a little bit about early wrestling memories too, because we're talking about, oh, it reminds me of this and this. For both of you guys, what are some of your earliest wrestling memories getting you into the world of pro wrestling?
I grew up with my cousins. They were massively into wrestling in sort of the early 2000s and stuff, and that was what got me into it. And seeing the likes of like Stone Cold, Kane, The Rock, all the Attitude Era sort of wrestling, that really like kicked it off for me, and that was it. I was hooked from there on. And in sort of later years, I got really into TNA. Sort of 2009, 2010, and I was like taken by TNA. The storyline then was just incredible for me, like the likes of Beer Money, AJ, Mr. Anderson, all those. It was just an amazing time, I think, for TNA.
My one, I started actually watching with my dad, and I think one of the first pay-per-views I saw, luckily for me, was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. The match that everyone talks about, and we watched that pay-per-view, and obviously it's harder to watch it in England. So I'd only really get to see the pay-per-views, but that was the first one I saw, and from then on I was absolutely obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. And then obviously the SmackDown vs. Raw games helped.
Yeah.
Here Comes the Pain ones as well. So some of that stuff also like really got me into it. But I think I started playing the games before I actually watched it. And after watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I can get into this. This is cool.
My cousins were so into it, so they sort of used to scorpion deathlock me at any opportunity they'd get. So very much growing up with the wrestling.
I love hearing too that it was like through family too. Like, oh, my dad was watching it, because that was how it was with me. My dad wasn't as into it when I was young as he was when he was young. He was very much a Bruno Sammartino guy, all that. But my brother was really into it. And I forget how old I was at the time, but watching Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart WrestleMania 12 doing the Iron Man match, a lot of people go back and they're like, that match is boring as piss. I'm like, I don't know, man. Shawn Michaels was great coming down from the rafters and everything. For me, I had totally gotten into that match, and then everything else, like you guys said, Attitude Era and going forward, it was just like I was hooked. And there was a certain time when I was in college where, or actually it was when I was in high school and I started really getting into music. I became really fanatic about guitar and getting really into like metal and things like that then. And wrestling had kind of gone the wayside. But then when I was in college, the college I was in, they were like, you have to take a semester of summer classes. So I'm like, all right. So I was rooming with a buddy of mine, and we had bought WrestleMania 2000 for Nintendo 64, which was a good one. And he was just like, oh man, I haven't seen wrestling in a while. And all of a sudden he clicks on this one person. He's like, who's this? I'm like, oh, it's The Undertaker, blah, blah, blah. You should watch this match. Oh, this is Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he did this. You should watch this match. And then that was it. Back into it.
To be fair, on one of the later games, was it last year's 2K that had the WrestleMania showcase? That's what got my stepkids like into all the old matches, like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and then they'd go back and watch Undertaker vs. Mankind, obviously the famous throwing off the cage and everything. So they got into all the old stuff as well. But they'd only started watching maybe 3 years ago. And they're finding it all so cool, seeing like the people interacting with us and stuff.
They're like completely hooked on it.
Oh yeah, completely. They want to do it.
That's where it starts. It starts from the covers, then doing the entrance themes, and then they're just like, I want to do moonsaults. You're like, not off the couch, you won't. But
I think I'd let him. I'd be like, do it right. Do a nice one. It's got to look good. I want to see a Jacob for 2-1. I want you to jump up and then do it, and then we're good.
there you go. If you're gonna do it like him. There you go. It's
Yeah,
funny too because
I always wanted to do wrestling because when I was like 16, I actually started doing pro wrestling, and then unfortunately I had to stop for a while. But yeah, I still would love to do like one of the indie wrestlers we've written a theme for. I would love to play them out and then get put through a table. I'd be like, yeah, I'll take that, 100%.
I feel like a lot of people are just like, I'd love to go through a table, and then when they go through a table, they're just like, why did I have to do this?
I think I'd still do it. I just down a monster beforehand and be like, right, I've got the adrenaline now. Let's go.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
So for any wrestlers listening, you got to ask them, do a theme for me, and I'll put you through a table. Yes, please.
100%.
We're ready for it.
Yeah. Put a guitar over my head.
It's so funny too because we mentioned the kids, and for me, my son's starting to like lightly start getting into wrestling. Dragon Lee is a friend of the family's. I had done his theme before he had went to WWE. Yeah, and he's been really great to my son. He's just that my son loves Dragon Lee, and great guy, love him to death. But my son is like, hey, go ahead and can you show me something Dragon Lee does? And I'm like, yeah, totally. And then he's literally diving over the top rope into the audience. And my son's like, that's super cool. I'm like, I don't know, man. I love it.
I thought you meant he wanted you to demonstrate what he does. I was like, if you're pulling out all that stuff, that's crazy.
Oh man, imagine. But then see, it's the thing, like he sees Dragon Lee do it, then I'm texting Dragon Lee, I'm like, are you dead? And he's like, no, it's okay. He's like, I live for this stuff. I'm like, but you're not dead. Like, that's the point I'm asking you. He's like, I'm fine.
We love all the lucha stuff. All the lucha stuff is so good.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? That Worlds Collide was brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chad, like, fair play to, well, not Chad. So, oh yeah, no, Chad and then into El Grande. Sorry. Yeah, it's not the same person.
Well, over here, we still don't know who Grande Americano is. It's a mystery. Some of us think it's Omos. I think there's some.
I think that's
some
so
that. Yeah. But no, Worlds Collide was awesome, and I'm so happy that all those guys are getting a platform to do it now. Obviously, AAA has had a platform for years, but like when you're working with WWE and you're working within that ecosystem, to see that everybody's super about it, and Mr. Iguana, like let's just talk about Mr. Iguana.
Glad he's been brought up.
Yeah. We were literally saying before, he's like, what are we gonna say if he asks favorite wrestler? He's like, Mr. Iguana.
Oh my God, he's so good. And the thing is, like, you don't know what people are going to resonate with until they get to the stage to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Mr. Iguana thought when we do this show, I'm going to be like so over here. But you could tell people were just so jazzed about what he was doing. And then Lindsay just destroying the iguana. And Mr. Iguana's just like, not in my Christian Minecraft server. Yeah, no.
I think the best thing is like the comments saying, out of all of that, the most impressive thing is he can kick that thing up in the air and land it on his shoulder.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant.
I'm like, forget the moonsaults, forget the Hurricane Runners. That's sick. That's the best.
And I think that's the thing I love about the wrestling, like something, it's not, it's not overly serious, but it's not too much. And it just brings everyone together with something so quite simple, and people can sort of reconnect with that thing, and it blows up again.
Like the other absolute goat, Joe Hendry.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He went to download, was it last week?
Last week, yeah.
And there were like Joe Hendry flags, and they're like doing it at DJ sets
Yeah,
and stuff.
on the DJ booths, and they start doing the Mass Joe Hendry chant, and the whole tent's just erupted.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And Joe Hendry talks about like even his entrance theme. He's just like, man, it was a joke. And like now he's made it into something so much bigger. And I think he talked to Chris Van Vliet about this. He's just like, I just analyzed all the things that worked in music and then I made that my thing. And it's just such a dope theme. And I'm so happy for him too. Like,
I think another thing I love about him is that the group that do all the Mexican versions of stuff, all the Hispanic,
yeah.
And he came out to their version, and I think they're amazing.
Yeah,
they've actually
brilliant.
commented and liked some of our videos before, but I thought that was so cool that he came out to it. That was really, really cool moment.
I love that. Yeah. Again, Joe Hendry, like we're talking about with like this younger generation of wrestlers, I think they're really in tune with everything going on. And if they see a remix like that and they're going to be performing over there, they're just like, hey, let's go ahead and get this there because it's going to be awesome. And people probably are just like, it sounds crazy, but like you're doing something that's of the culture that you're there of. And it's just really cool to kind of show that. And then you're giving other people the rub too. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. So far you guys have put out a lot of different music. I had just looked up your discography the last couple days, and I didn't know that you guys have been writing music even before 2022 and whatnot together too. It looks like you guys have a lot of music that you've put out. So far, out of the themes that you've done covers of, which ones have been your favorite and which ones have gotten the most reception?
So with the wrestling stuff, because like I said, I started doing it on my own, and that was actually like 3 months into this year that I started doing that. I was doing just normal covers of bands like Motionless in White, Bad Omens and stuff, and then I had a cover of Kingdom that I did, and I wasn't going to put it out because I listened to it. I was like, oh, it's a bit shit, really. I'm not a massive fan of it. And my wife was like, no, just put it out because you don't know. And then it blew up, and it's like in my top 3 highest viewed on TikTok. I think it's 700,000 or something.
Awesome.
And then I was like, oh, this really stuck. So then I did the Jey Uso one, the heavy version of Jey Uso's, and that got a load of views. And then I did the Rhea Ripley normal one, and then I did the cinematic one. And then I was like, okay, this is where I should be going.
The path we're going down.
Yeah, and it was like, I found a niche here, and also I love wrestling, so I have no issue doing it. I know all the themes. Like, I love wrestling. I might as well go and do this. And like I said, trying to do it every day because TikTok's quite demanding for the algorithm. So I said to Will, because I knew he liked wrestling, I was like, oh, I know you've got back into it. Do you want to do it with me? And he jumped in, and we did like the Miz's one that's on 200,000 or something.
Yeah, it's been great, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what the favorite one would be, though.
Me personally, I think one of my favorites at the moment was the Bray Wyatt one because I learned to play piano for it. So it was quite a bit of a bigger thing for me. And it's a massive one because it's Bray, exactly. So it was really nice. We were a bit hesitant about it at first as well. We were like, we had people commenting saying to do Bray's theme. We were like, we don't know how people are going to react to it, how they're going to take it. And we wrote it, recorded it, and we thought it's actually does sound.
But it wasn't just piano; it was the guitar. So literally,
Yeah.
I said to Will, I was like, "Do you know how to play piano?" Because I do a bit. I was like, "But do you want to do more than just bass?" And he was like, "Oh, I can get a piano." And he got it, and literally, it was 20 minutes practicing. He's literally then FaceTiming me while playing the chords one-handed, going something like this. And I'm like, "All right." I was like, "Do you want to do the guitar as well?" He's like, "Yeah, gets a guitar." And then again, about 20 minutes, he's like, "Yeah, I think I've got it," and did the guitar as well. And I'm just like, you're insane. Like, literally, there are people like learning their whole life, and Will's just like, yeah, I got this. So that was because it's like some people have a thing with bass, and so we wanted to show that Will can do other things. He's also going to start doing vocals at some point as well, which will be really cool. So we're just trying to do as much as we can because it also makes the workload easier.
Yeah, that's what I felt a bit guilty as well because obviously I wanted to bring a bit of that loan of David so we could just sort of share the parts and it's half and half work rate then, so it's not all on David sort of thing or all on me. So
Yeah.
But I've been really enjoying it. I've been enjoying learning new instruments. It's been great to be honest.
Yeah.
Can't fault anything.
So now it's like Will do bass, rhythm, some keys, and then I'll do lead guitar, keys with like orchestral stuff, the production, the mixing and mastering, and then vocals. But we do want to start splitting the vocals as well because I think it'd be cool for him to just try everything.
Yeah.
And it just gives you more range and dynamic too, being able to just have more people with different voices, no pun intended, but like different voices, different vision on the instrumental parts too. And, it's one of those things too. You're like, oh, do I play piano? Not until now. And then all of a sudden you have this song that inspires you to do that. And anytime someone brings up Bray Wyatt, I'm always just like, man, like Bray Wyatt for me is like top 3 wrestlers ever.
100%.
Yeah. And anybody that does any one of his themes, whether it's Live in Fear, Shadow, whatever the case may be, I'm just like, I don't think I've heard anybody do a bad rendition of it. And I think it really boils down to the fact on how much respect everybody has for Bray. And I think everybody is kind of like, I don't want to do it because I want to make sure it's good. But I will tell you, we had Mark Crozer on the show. We've had Rebby Hardy on the show. And Mark Crozer's always just like, I never expected this song to get where it did. And every time I hear a new cover, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. And he had never heard Rebby's piano version before. So on the show, I had shown it to him. And he's like, oh, that's crazy. So then he also knows, obviously, the Code Orange ones. He's like, again, I don't know why people are covering it. It's just a song that I wrote, but I'm so happy that they are. And it's just, it's so cool to see that his legacy continues there too. And the fact that you guys did that killer cover, I'm glad you guys brought up Bray because again, like Bray is very much a huge part of a lot of even what I do. Like for people who've seen me perform, the person who does a lot of my stage clothing, when I started performing a little bit more, I had them do pants that were very much in the style of Bray Wyatt with the pants that had the birds on them and everything. But there was like a specific version that he used for like 2 weeks where it was like the black pants with the white birds instead of the white pants with the black birds. And that coincidentally, was the one that he used when he gave Brock Lesnar his sister Abigail. And as we talked about, Brock Lesnar ruined the Universal Championship. So,
With Bray, he got me back into it because I'd stopped watching for a little bit because it kind of gone downhill. And then I saw this Fiend character and I was like, this is so cool. It was like
yeah.
the best thing since The Undertaker because no one
by
had done
far.
that. And then he came out with this, and I actually went as him for Halloween as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, absolutely loved him, thought he was the best. And then they were doing, like, he got released and then came back, they were doing the teasers. And then obviously when he passed, I think that hit just as hard as when Chester Bennington from Linkin Park passed away. Those two are the biggest ones that have hit. And when we did this thing, we made it like a tribute orchestral version because I didn't want to just go and do like the normal version with like the hard vocals and everything. But we have someone that we're friends with on TikTok called, it's Bite Sized Wrestling, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
And he made an edit using the song with Bray talking over it and stuff. And genuinely watching it, I teared up.
I
'cause
did,
was
yeah.
like,
It was such an amazing
when you
edit.
it sounds kind of arrogant, but when you see something you've done and you see it put to his videos and his talking over it and stuff, yeah, it hit. It really did.
I think with the Bray one for us as well, like because we, as I say, we were so hesitant doing it. When we put it out and see the response we saw, that really did sort of cement how supportive the wrestling community are. Because as you say, going back to Linkin Park, people do cover their songs still to now, and you still have a lot of people that are not fond because obviously it's not Chester. But that really did show us how supportive this community is. It was.
And also with that song, we've said any money that comes from that will go to charity.
Yeah, that's all
We
charity.
don't like
Oh,
it's
that's
one of those
awesome.
things where we don't want to take anything from that. This is a tribute to him. We respect everything he did. He's one of the best.
It's just for people like the wrestling fans, the community, they can enjoy it, take it how they want it, sort of thing. But yeah, that was something we never wanted to make anything off of.
That's awesome. And it's yeah, I don't meet many people that think of Bray Wyatt and have a crossword to say about him either. You know, I think all of us are just like anyone that's ever been influenced by him, anyone that's ever gotten the opportunity to do anything musical from him or anything like that, or anyone who's ever seen him in wrestling. They're like, he had such a personality and such a vision for the business. And then on top of that, it's just like, man, he had some absolute bangers. And everybody has like that Bray Wyatt story. Even if he wasn't your favorite wrestler, everybody's just like, I have that thing about Bray. And I'm glad that you guys did that cover, because I remember also like you guys do a lot of different styles, and you guys have some heavy stuff that you do, obviously, which, you know, your boy loves the heavy stuff. But I love being able to see that you have the different direction that you can take it to, because again, like you guys talk about with writing entrance themes, you have to be versatile. Like you can always have your sound. And, you know, I talk with the boys of Downstate all the time. Like they're like, we have a sound, we have a style, but at the same time, there's a lot of versatility. The Miz's theme doesn't sound like Buddy Matthews, doesn't sound like Major Players. And
again, they're the nicest guys ever because they've messaged and followed us. And
which
stuff.
we thought was
They are honestly such nice guys.
yeah.
Again, like the community is just insane. You think, oh, these people are never going to know who we are, never going to, but and then they reach out and say something like really nice and say, love all your stuff and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's so surreal all the time. There's just something happens every day, and we're like, I can't believe this is.
You can't keep up with it, can you?
Yeah, no. We were saying because that original we did, we got there were just so many comments, and our thumbs were actually so like because we make a point of if you're going to take the time to look at our video, check it out, and comment, we are going to reply.
Absolutely.
We and I actually got a ban from replying because I'd replied to too many, and TikTok were like, "Whoa, you need a break." I was like, "Oh, okay." When we can, we try and reply to everything because these people, if it's not for them, like if it's not them watching it and stuff, we aren't anything. Like they are literally giving us.
They're giving us the platform that we're trying to sort of work towards. We've never got an issue with replying to comments, helping people do a theme if they want it, sort of thing. Just push them in the direction they want to be.
Unfortunately, we had to stop how many themes we were doing just because we had such like a mass amount of requests. And like all people paying and stuff, but we're like, we can't physically do the demand right now. So we're going to have to limit it for a bit. And maybe when we've got all these out of the way, we'll do some more. But yeah, it's just so nice. And even like hate comments, if you get hate comments, we'll just be like, look, everyone's got different taste. Still appreciate you taking the time because you've still taken the time to comment. If everyone liked the same thing, you'd have one band. Realistically, there'd be no diversity in the music industry and stuff. So yeah, if they don't like it, that's cool. But thank you for sharing your opinion. I'm not gonna like hate on you for it.
No.
That's your opinion. I don't like everything I hear, and I feel like Def Rebel get a hell of a lot of hate, and I still think they've got some bangers. I really do.
They do, yeah.
And they had some big shoes to fill with like Jim and stuff like that. It's I do feel bad for them because you think Roman Reigns' theme is like you hear that start up because that was Def Rebel. I think it was Def Rebel. Yeah. I think they've had some good ones. Rhea Ripley's one with Chris Motionless. I feel bad for the amount of hate they get. I just think whoever takes over from them, it's probably going to be a similar thing because you're always wanting the nostalgia of what you used to have, and it's just kind of getting used to the new wave of music coming through.
Yeah, and I think also when it comes to writing music for wrestlers, and it comes to, and this is kind of the overarch of not just for wrestlers, but music for TV or whatever medium, right? Whatever media, there is a certain expectation of being able to flip around music fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't always understand that, you know. Jim Johnston may have flipped around songs fairly quickly, but Jim Johnston would also stay at HQ for 20 hours, firsthand account people saying that, you know. So at the same time, like, you have a lot of people who will hear a lot of the entrance themes and they may go, oh, you know, it's not really, you know, what I'm looking for. And that may be true for a lot of people across like a roster of 200 people. But at the same time, it's a matter of how quickly can you turn something around? What are the conditions with, you know, if we all have a month to write a song, it's going to be a lot different than you being able to write it in an hour, you know? So I think that anybody that does it.
The only thing we're proud of for ourselves is we, like the originals we're putting out, we do tend to get them done in about an hour writing process, getting rough takes, and then maybe an hour mixing it and finalizing it, which is why we can kind of do one a day for TikTok and try and keep up with that.
To sort of get as many out as possible.
Yeah,
can't we?
before he went to download, we had to literally get like 6 ready.
That's awesome.
Like, it was what, 3 a.m. my time, 8 your time.
Yeah.
We just went and did 6 straight away, so we
Right.
had them all.
Get it out ready.
So
got the content.
we've got like a pattern where we can just go and smash them all out because we're aware what kind of like workload you have to deal with for TikTok, especially not so much Instagram, but TikTok. If you slow down, they're going to kind of penalize you for it a bit with
They
the
do.
algorithm. And then indie wrestlers, we don't want them to be like, oh, it's taking too long, so we try and get them done as quick as possible.
Mm.
So we're glad we're doing that because it's getting us used to, right, we've got to get this done quickly. And it's the reason, like, we've had a lot of comments saying, oh, these videos are all lip synced. Why don't you? And it's like, well, it's kind of like a music video. We get the song done and then lip sync it so we have something interesting to watch instead of just putting up a picture. Because if there's just a picture, you're probably not going to watch it and hear the song at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you guys are able to turn around that stuff so quickly too. Because like you said, we got to feed the algorithm. And also, you know, if you're working with lots of different people, it's like, hey, you want to be able to respect their time, value their time. And it's just so cool to see other people with that vision too. And it's very interesting to me too that you're bringing up download, because I've wanted to go to download for years. Bring it to actually, no, I'll go there. Don't bring it to the States. I'll go there. Who were some of your favorites over at download that you saw?
Personal one for me was Green Day, just because I grew up listening to Green Day, so that was like a big bucket list for me. Spirit Box were incredible. They always put on an amazing show. And Bullet for My Valentine played their whole first album, which was just, that was it for me. That done my weekend. Also, Static Dress. They're one of my favorite bands at the moment, and I got up super early to go and watch them because they were first set of the day on the Saturday. I wasn't feeling the healthiest, but I made it down, and it was a great show.
They also had wrestling there as well, didn't
Yeah, they had, so the first night, because we did the 5-night camping, and the first 2 nights are just sort of like campers only. They put a few shows on, and I'm walking through the village, and I turned to my left, and I just see a ring, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm at home. So straight in, watched a bit of wrestling, bit of music. Yeah, it was brilliant. Downloads, it's a great laugh. It really is. Great people there, and yeah, I can't say any better words about Download, to be honest.
I was gutted I couldn't go. I was so, because it's literally before I came over to
Mhm.
England, so I was like, I was so sad I missed it. I've never been. The only festivals I've ever been to have been ones I've actually played when I'm drumming for my brother. So I haven't actually got to go to a festival yet. Hopefully one day, but yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've wanted to go to download for years. I got to make it over way you guys. It's download's the one that we see here in the States, and we're like, we had Ozfest, you know, and now we don't. But we're just like, oh man, download for me was always just through the years. Like, that's where all the bands go. That's where all your favorites go. Everyone from Nightwish to Bullet, all those. And the fact that you said Bullet, I'm like, oh my God, Bullet's like one of my favorites ever since the Poison. Even before that, there was a show that, like, when the internet was starting to really become a thing with like videos and people being able to like do more independent stuff, they had done music for like this emo version of the Power Rangers, and they were just using their music, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are great. And then they put out the Poison, and I'm like, that's it, we're good.
Signed and sealed. But that was, they are just so, they're amazing, honestly. They're so tight, they perform it so well. And when I heard like the intro to the album, I was like, oh, they're going to play the whole thing, and they did, and I was like,
That is really
Greatest
cool.
thing ever.
Well, I got 2 more questions for you guys before we go. And I ask these questions to everybody who comes on the show. If you could put together 1 or 2 matches that are musicians only that would be in a wrestling match, what would some of those matches be?
That's a good question. I would have. Oh, I can't die. Should I say that?
Yeah, no, you can say it. Yeah.
I'd have to have Ronnie Radke. I'd have to have Ronnie in the ring at some point.
Alex Terrible.
Yeah, I think that is a prime matchup.
Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail. And they're allowed to use weapons because he's going to smash his own head in with a
Yeah,
microphone.
they can go full out. No
Yeah.
rules. That's it.
Even if they weren't allowed to, they would anyway.
Oh, they would. 100%. It'd be like the Sandman when he used to smash a beer can on his head. That's what Alex would do.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Please
So
don't
now,
come for me.
go ahead. What's up?
I said, please don't come for me, Ronnie.
Oh my gosh. And then I got one more question for you guys also. So I asked this to everybody who comes on the show too. If you had to put together a Spotify playlist of 3 songs that represent you, either your music or you as people, what would those 3 songs be?
You go first for that.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
And you could both answer it if you want.
I think This Fire, Killswitch Engage has to be. It has to be just because, you know, that's what I heard with CM Punk when he was doing the whole ECW thing in B. And I love Killswitch. It would be something by Avenged Sevenfold because that got me into drumming. I'm trying to think of
I don't know, but all I can think of was Bullet. I'd go Room 409, Bullet for Valentine.
That's a tune.
I'd stick that in there if that was me.
Probably, I don't know if many people know them out in America, but McFly.
Who are they?
They're called McFly. They started off as a boy band. They went a bit more rocky. Like, you know, have you heard Busted?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. They were like the opposing thing. There was like all this beef between fans with them and stuff. It kind of like that, because when I first grew up, I wasn't into the heavy stuff, and they kind of was something I grew up on. So yeah, probably McFly, Avenged Sevenfold, Killswitch Engage.
Yeah, I'm with that. That's a good list to me.
I love that. And the Avenged Sevenfold thing will always hit me because for me, it was always like Bullet was, not to say anything bad, but number 2, Avenged Sevenfold was number 1 for me when I was growing up. And, you know, I think that's how it is with most of us getting into metalcore and all that. And then all of a sudden they said, hey, you liked Waking the Fallen. Let's do City of Evil. And you're just like, what is this?
Me and my wife actually did a metalcore cover of A Little Piece of Heaven.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we made it heavier, put more double kick screams in it and stuff, and it actually came out pretty well, and it was well received as well. So yeah, we've loved Avenged Sevenfold.
I actually when I went to Download last year, they were the headliners last year, and they were probably one of the best bands I've ever watched live. And when they were playing Nightmare, and towards the end of the song, the whole power went out with the stage, and everyone just carried on singing. It was as if nothing had sort of stopped. It was such a surreal moment.
That's sick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, with Avenged, they make you very much feel like, and this was from early on too, like you're part of, like we talked about at the top, like that community, that family. When the Rev passed away, Nightmare had come out, and I think a lot of the people in the music industry were kind of like, oh, it's an okay record, but everybody who was an Avenged fan was like, no, this is great, and we're going to tell you it's great. And like it was one of those moments to me where you got to really feel like a part of like the Avenged Sevenfold like family, and you were just like, man, we're all bringing this record with us together wherever and however. And they've just continued on. There can never say enough good about Avenged Sevenfold. This is an Avenged Sevenfold Stand podcast, everybody. That's basically what we are. Well, you guys, it's been awesome having the conversation with you to be able to talk all about wrestling themes, music, and everything you guys got going on. Where can people find you?
So you can find us at, is it David James or David Bartolomé Music? I think it's just David Bartolomé Music on Instagram, Will Scarr
On Instagram.
and on TikTok, the exact same. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you. It was really
cool.
good. I appreciate it.